Yeah.
Well, good afternoon or good morning, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. My name is Jeff Clements. I'm a state representative from Palm Beach County, Lake Worth, and I'd just like to thank all the members of the media that showed up today. Thank you so much for being here to listen to us. 7 people a day in Florida die from using prescription drugs. No one in Florida dies from using medicinal cannabis. 85% of the prescription drugs, oxycodone in fact, that are sold in the United States are sold right here in Florida. And to me it makes absolutely no sense that we don't allow people to use a safer drug, something that helps with their issues and yet doesn't cause all of the problems that some of those prescription narcotics cause. So we're here today to talk about House Bill 1407, which is the first bill, I believe, in the history of Florida to allow for the people to vote to put medicinal cannabis on the ballot. I brought some people with me that I'm going to let speak here in just a moment, and then I'll come back in order to answer any questions that you have, and I know folks will be available afterwards in order to answer questions, but I want to talk just briefly about the bill. It's not a complicated bill because we're not trying to tell the legislature how they should organize the distribution and sale of medicinal cannabis in Florida. What we're doing is simply asking them to put it on the ballot and allow Floridians to vote on the issue. Now, having said that, there are a few things in here that we thought were important to cover. Obviously, it needs to be a debilitating medical condition before you can be prescribed medicinal cannabis. There are some provisions in the bill that protect primary caregivers, protect physicians, and protect the property of those people who would be growing the medicinal cannabis. There are some provisions in here related to minors and how they would be able to use under physician's care medicinal cannabis, and some parental consent issues. But largely we're going to leave the legislation up to the legislators. What we want is the ability for the people to be able to have their say. Having said that, I'm going to have a few people come up here and talk to you about what this means or could possibly mean to them. And the first is going to be a lady named Cathy Jordan. And Cathy was diagnosed with ALS in 1987. So she's been living with this disease for 24, 25 years. We do have bios and information that's been passed out. You should have that available to you. Because of the disease that she suffers from, Cathy has suffered some difficulties with her speech, so she's going to do her best to come up here and speak, but we will also be able to read her statement, and you should have her statement with you as well.
I have lived with ALS for 25 years.
I have lived with ALS for 25 years.
I have amazed, most of these, I'm amazed neurologist for most of these years. This is only because I use cannabis.
I have amazed neurologists for most of these years. This is only because I use cannabis.
Cannabis is a neuroprotector, an antioxidant, and an anti-inflammatory. I know this because the federal government has the patent.
Cannabis is a neuroprotector, antioxidant, and anti-inflammatory. I know this because the federal government has the patent.
I'm here to help patients and families of patients with neuromuscular disease and brain injuries to educate yourselves in these matters.
I'm here to help patients and the families of patients with neuromuscular disease and brain disorders to educate themselves on these matters.
I am also working with the ALS Association for patients to be their own advocate for themselves. If we are going to defeat ALS, we must look down every avenue available.
I'm working with the ALS Association to have patients advocate for themselves. If we're going to defeat ALS, then we have to look at every avenue available.
I am also in favor of research in this marvelous plant.
I'm also in favor of research in this marvelous, compassionate plant.
I would also like to thank Representative Clemens for having the compassion to introduce this bill and for giving me a chance to speak so that other legislators and representatives and senators can look into this matter and research it.
I would like to thank Representative Clemens for having the compassion to introduce this bill and for giving me a chance to speak so that other representatives and senators will research these issues. Thank you, Cathy. I appreciate you being here. A couple of people that I want to thank. I have a couple of co-sponsors of the bill. Representative Rick Kreisman is a co-sponsor. Representative Mark Hafford. Representative Mark Hafford is a co-sponsor. And Representative Michelle Raywinkle-Vasalinda from right here in Tallahassee is here with us, and she'd like to say a few words as well.
I'm here in support of this bill. I'm here in support of my colleague, Jeff Clemens. I support his vision, his courage, and his compassion in bringing this bill forward. There are a lot of people suffering in this state for medical access, for innovation in medical treatment, and for medical affordability. And medical cannabis can afford that for these folks back here. And I think that we need to make sure that we're convincing people that this is something that needs to be done in the state of Florida. Desperate times, we've got very difficult issues at hand. And these folks back here need help and they need solutions. And I applaud Representative Clemens and the other legislators that have co-sponsored this bill, and I intend to co-sponsor this bill as well, because costs and innovation in medical treatment. And although this is a very old treatment, would be innovative in these days and times. So I'd like to be able to put this forward, to have the citizens of the state of Florida vote on this and have their will so that they can have the freedom to choose how they want to treat their disease in consultation with their physicians. So thank you very much for your attention.
This is a bill that reduces government regulation and allows people to choose how they want their medical care to proceed. So for them, this is a great bill. Again, all these folks back here are here for a reason, and they all have good stories. I'd love for you to talk to some of them. Thank you again so much for coming, and thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it.
Well, it's been a phenomenal day at the Capitol. It's March 10th, 2011, and the first bill in the Florida House has been introduced since 1978. Today, the people of Florida get an opportunity to call their legislators and say, we want to decide. I'm very proud of Cathy and the work that she did today. I was really enthusiastic with the reception we got. This is one of those stories that if you just give someone an opportunity, they so want to talk about the experiences that they and their family members have had. And I think that we went a long way today on giving people an opportunity to talk about what's really important, and that's how they're going to take care of themselves and their loved ones.
Thank you so much.
It's time to stop saying just say no. It's time to say K-N-O-W. Know what you're talking about.